Good evening, everyone who is watching. We are live with the Rapha RCC Championship race. This is the EMEA edition. Yesterday was APAC. We're just about to start. Let's see how we get on. Good luck to everyone racing. We've got nearly 300 people here. So it's a seriously stacked field. I am also joined by Lionel Vujasin, who actually won yesterday. Here's Stefan Weigald. He is the RCC coordinator in Berlin. Good to see him out there taking part. He's at the front of the race. Chill out, Stefan. He wants to show everyone his hand early on. There's quite a few people from Berlin riding in this race. Good luck to all of those. Good luck to everyone who's racing from all around the world. There is my almost namesake, Reese Howells, and he's at the front as well. He's one to look out for today. I also saw in the start pen Simon Mottram. What? Oh, give over. Yeah, it'd be great if I could do live commentary and ride at the front of a race. I think my performances would be a lot better in that scenario. Oh yeah? Ah, that's the worst. But I mean, yeah, we're just going to stay on Stefan for the time being. He's up there with Reese. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see how the pack splits out, but it's looking pretty good. Stefan is a former pro, so he's definitely got the beans. He's got the beans to win the jockeys, which is the new way of talking. Who's your money on for tonight, Lionel? Yeah. Yep. It's very specific, and I doubt anybody who's actually racing right now has ever raced this course before. I mean, had you raced the course before yesterday? Yep. And I was quite happy that you were there to give me a little tip so that I could sprint quicker than you. Yeah, I couldn't believe that, considering as well how low my watts were compared to yours. Man, my legs were just in pieces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we talked about it, so it worked quite well. So it's getting a bit stretched out here. We're probably going to see the first split even on this section, I would have thought. This is normally where people make mistakes in Zwift races, right? It's not powering over the top of a climb and getting dropped as it gets stretched out, basically. Here's going to be interesting as well. They're going to get their first power-ups of the race, and let's see if they know how to use them in the best way. Some people might drop them straight away. Some people I've been speaking to might not drop them at all, just because they're not sure how to use them. So this is where, if you're a seasoned Zwift racer, those sort of things are going to benefit you. If you're like me, you end up with a load of experience and no power-ups. But, you know, probably the most beneficial one for most of the laps, I'd say, is probably the feather power-up, because you can use that on that small climb going into the volcano. Otherwise, obviously, the sprint power-up is going to be the best one. Yeah. That's true. Oh, someone's already dropped the aero power-up. Perhaps a little bit prematurely, but they're going to try and stretch it out on this little tiny descent. Yeah, exactly. I think because this race is actually quite long for a Zwift race, sometimes it's just worth just using it when you feel like you need to rather than waiting for a specific point. Yeah. Yeah. Steven's off the front again. Look at him. So he's you know, he's got the power. There's no doubt about that. But has he got the nous? Oh, he's dropping back there. What's happened to him? That was weird, wasn't it? I don't know if he had a dropout or something, but he really slid back from the group there. And he's dropped his power up, which is probably wise just to come back in. I didn't see that. Did you see? Ah, okay. He's back off the front again. Definitely. Yeah, he's well experienced. I know, yeah, Reese Howells hasn't done a ton of Zwift races, but he's a real life racer. See, everyone's dropping their feather power ups. Probably could have dropped them a little bit sooner from watching that, but it's good. People know, a lot of people know when to actually do it. This bit as well, you have to be sure to keep on pushing. Again, it's the same with all the climbs, right? Like if your natural tendency is to get to the top of a climb and soft pedal a bit, but yeah, yeah, sure. Well, I think it's the same. So obviously this section is from the volcano circuit reverse, and it's pretty much the point, that little climb and then the small ascent into the over the arch, under the arch. That's pretty much the only place to make any kind of attack. So it's I think it seems fairly obvious that that's where we would see that happening in this sort of race. The other part is really the S's, I guess, because people aren't, they don't realize really that you have to, you can soft pedal on a little descent, but then you have to ramp up the power to get over the lump, and then you kind of just repeat that like 3 times basically. And I think it's easy to get caught out there as well. That's probably the other part where you could get dropped, I'd say. Or as well the sprint. But yeah, it's I'm not sure how many people were in this group. Um, in order to save my computer from crashing, I closed all of my windows, so I don't have Zwift Power Live open at the moment. So if you're able to check that just to see how many people in this group, that would be great. Yeah, that's probably not surprising, really. It'll be interesting to see. I saw also Dave, the coordinator from Amsterdam. He was there at the start. So there's quite a few people from Rapha themselves coming to the line to start the race. It'll be interesting to see if we see their names popping up. Um, we can always drop back and see if there is anybody else. I just want. I'm going to stay at the front of the race just for the S's, just to see if there's anything that happens where maybe some riders end up dropping out of the pack, basically. See Gajda, yeah, he's right at the back, right? So he's well positioned. He knows what he should be doing. Um, yeah, yeah. So we just got the overhead shot here. So you can see it gets quite strung out just because people perhaps aren't as used to, I guess, pedaling in that manner, which you have to in Zwift. Um, hey, the guy on the front's on a steel bike, so fair play to him. Not the best bike choice, I have to say, but clearly it's not important to him what bike he's on. Someone's already dropped their feather power up. That's fairly premature, unless they're hoping that they get something a little bit better under the sprint arch. I don't know. Probably I wouldn't have dropped it right there, to be honest. Doesn't really give you enough benefit when you're in the pack. So, but yeah, this is the group already. Your winner is going to come from this group, and yeah, it's down already to about 50. It might be that everybody here is going to qualify. All they have to do is just hang on, and also don't get caught out of this bit. So, I mean, Stefan's doing 5.5 watts per kilo is probably what you want to do. That is that pinch point, because it goes straight into the descent, and if you let the gaps open up, then you can get dropped here because the speed of the main pack can really pick up. And if you're not in it and you don't close the gap, then you can get dropped off, and that's the end of your race. Yeah. Yeah, it's very, for the guys who want to really push on at the front, that is the place to do it. And if you're one of the slightly weaker guys, that is your job, to be attentive and to just cling on for dear life. But yeah, everyone seems to be doing okay. Haven't seen anyone fall off the back. Here we are, moving through the bodies. It's very weird to have a camera go through the insides of a bike racer, but that's what happens. Here's Stefan. Look at him. His avatar is laser focused. He's stuck on the Zwift bike, whilst other guys, they've got the Tron bike. So bless him. I know there's a lot of guys who aren't particularly high up with regards to their ranking in Zwift, so they're having to use lesser equipment, but if you've got the power, it's not such a big deal. What was your bike choice yesterday, Lionel? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing. The Crit City is super flat compared to this. This is really, this was quite a long race. I'm not sure how many laps are we doing at Crit City? Is it 12? Yeah, I mean, so I did 10 laps of downtown Dolphin earlier. 10's pretty good, 12's alright. I think there's been a few races where there's been 16 laps, which is probably too much, I'd say. What? 20 laps? That's oh, a couple of guys off the back here. So Stefan, he's from Berlin. I know he's been on our indoor early bird. He's dropped off. There's another rider with him. I can't see who that is. I think that's probably their race over, because these guys are in the pack and they're going to gain a lot of speed just by being in the blob for this section going into the volcano. So yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think what they have to do here is basically they don't want to make the mistake of absolutely killing themselves trying to get back on, because they're not going to be able to, right? So what they need to do is, yeah, but they need to go probably below. They need to be below threshold. Probably just go at tempo. Have a look at the gap back to the riders behind them, and see when they might get caught by another group, and then get a bit of recovery, because those other riders are going to help pull them along. So it's getting really stretched out on that section there. So I think there's going to be a few more riders getting dropped at that rate. It's really strung out. I'm just looking behind. Stefan's pretty well positioned here. Oh, it's going to be interesting just to see if the guys driving at the front, if they're going to let up at all and let these other guys right behind get back on. It could be, this could be the next selection of this race. Reese Howes, he's right at the front. Yep. There's quite a few Danish guys. I've seen the DBR tag above a few of the riders' names. That's the Danish bike racers or riders. Doesn't matter. Riders. If you're into really painful races, which I'm not sure many of you will be, but they do the DBR Suffer Day League every Saturday, and they basically pick the most brutal routes on Zwift to race on. Oh yeah, but you're sick. So for those that don't know, Lionel. So for those that don't know, so Lionel is he is a rider in my Canyon ZCC e-racing team, and he is a bit sick in the head. He'll just do like 3 races a day sometimes. And your mum got you tested? What? Really? Yeah, but how long ago was this? Yeah, there's plenty of time for you to go haywire, I think. It looks like this group's stretched out a bit. Let me just jump. Well, it definitely looks like there's some riders who have been dropped. It's hard to tell from this angle. How many riders are you seeing in the group there, Lionel? There we are. We can just jump back a little bit. There's Gadge to give him a ride on. Let's jump to the back. So, Dudek, he is the last man in. Let's give him a ride on. He's in 44th wheel here. So, there's definitely a few riders we lost there. Because I think we meant to... there was about 50 odd before, right? So, I mean, you just see one guy from the helicopter. He's riding solo, right? So, but, it's the top 50 places. So, he still has a chance. Again, let's see. Let's keep an eye on the back of the group as we head to this bit. This is probably the biggest section in the S's, where this is where you could potentially get dropped. Someone's dropped their power up. They felt that this is where they need that little bit of help in order to get over this lip. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess with the volcano, right, you're with the volcano, I think it's different in that if you're struggling, you're waiting for that, and that's where you might get dropped. As where if you are going over the S's, you probably got enough power to power over them and hang on. But the volcano's where you're gonna pop basically. So I think most riders would know that. It's still quite strung out right at the back. There's definitely some guys who are struggling. I mean, Dudek, who we're on, his heart rate is up to 185 beats per minute. He's struggling. Some of the riders having to come around and they've dropped They're drafting power-ups. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hang on here. He's going to have to put in a big dig, but his heart rate is so high, I think he's going to struggle. Let's hope he can get back on. There's a Spaniard behind him. He looks like he is going to fall out. Iglesias, yeah. Yeah, I'm with them. You have to... Well, I don't know. It depends. Depends how you're feeling. With the heart rate's pretty high, but it's almost worth it if you have it, or even if you don't think you have it, to sprint onto the back of the group. It just often that point is mind over matter. They're gone now, I'd say. You know, they can't make it back now. Although Iglesias' heart rate is 152 beats per minute, so either he's incredibly fit or there's something wrong with his heart rate monitor. He should be drilling it. He should be sprinting across. So right, we're down to about 41 riders now. I think everybody looks okay here. So again, this is where you come into the volcano. Again, positioning is really key on these sort of parts where you really want to make sure that you're... if it was me, so where this guy is we're following now, Mieland, I'd stay here up until you come, I don't know the distance. Just before you come around that corner, just where these kind of arches are, I'd move up to kind of like second wheel before going up the climb, basically, rather than being at the back. How would you take this part? Yep. Right. Yep. Sure. I mean, Milan there actually ended up pretty well positioned going into the volcano, so fair play to him. He did a great job on that small incline in. On the previous lap, we saw the split happen, or at least riders getting dropped off at this section. So let's see how attentive the riders will be. Again, this is a point where you want to move up to the front. When I raced it, I basically I was out the saddle up this section because I knew that, you know, there's a chance to kind of recover once you're under the arch. It's better to basically, in my mind, put out the extra watts to get over it first and be ahead of everyone and then recover, than being at the back, taking it a little bit easier, but then mentally having that stress of feeling like you have to close a gap or chase back on. For me, it works better to go harder. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's much... Yeah, I think a lot of it is mental in that sense. So let's see if these guys are going to make it back on. These guys, ooh, it was close for them. I think they're going to make it back on. They look like they're going to be okay. Hall's heart rate is 165, so he's not going hard at all. Here's Chabaron, sadly, out, but, you know, position-wise, still got a chance. So we're down to about 40 riders in this main group. So these two guys here, they dropped off the back. They need to pick up Chabaron here, and they need to work together to try and, yeah, just keep on going. They've got two other riders behind them, 5 minutes behind. So that's going to be a small group. They've got a minute. That minute might not be enough though on this course, so we'll have to see. So we'll jump ahead to the main group. And say we've got about 40 riders. I'd imagine most of the guys who are in this group now, they've got a feeling for the S's section now. I would imagine, unless someone really starts driving at the front, which they might not do yet, I'd imagine most of the guys are going to be all right. If you've made it this far, unless you're really clinging on, then and you're about to pop, I think everyone's going to be okay here. So, and I think in your head, you know that this is your chance to qualify. So you're also more likely to just push that little bit harder. All right. Then, thanks a lot, Lionel, for joining. Lionel is now heading off to race the 3R spring-loaded race. He obviously raced yesterday and won the first heat. Thanks a lot for joining me on this live stream and having a chat with me. Good luck with your race tonight. Smash it and do the team proud. And yeah, we'll catch you soon. We'll see you in the semis. Okay, so now I am riding solo. Lionel's off to do his own race. As I say, he races nearly every other day. I'll get closer to my mic so that my sound quality is a little bit better, hopefully. Hey, Little Green, who's just in a mess of third or fourth lap. I am going to get Zwift power up to double check. So then I can at least get it to you. So when you do these live streams, you have to go on this fan view. It does mean that you don't get some of the details that you would get if you were when you're riding it in the race yourself. So I can't see the exact distance. I could do the maths. I can see they've done 21.5 kilometers. But if you go on Zwift Power, if you go on the live section, for anyone who's watching, if you find the event and you watch the live section, you can actually see where they are on the map, and you can see where everyone else is based behind them, and you can see all the time gaps. Super useful. I was a little bit worried about my CPU, so I didn't. I closed Chrome down. I know it sucks a lot of power, so let's just swing back, see if there's anybody off the back. Not sure if they're off the back or if that was someone who they've overtaken here. I can see that Bernardino having to use his aero power up to get back on here. Nicely done. And the rider right behind him, again, Milan, seems to be struggling a little bit, but he's doing great. Nice work for getting back on. It's so weird when you go through people's bodies. See if we can actually go inside another person's body. Look at that. That's weird, isn't it? Look how weird that is. That is the inside of someone's face. You don't get this in normal bike racing. No, definitely do not. Those new Factor bikes look pretty nice, by the way. They only got launched in the game last week, I think. So, look pretty tidy. It's not the fastest. So, there'll be a lot of guys racing here who... I see people who are riding on Zwift bikes. Your best chance, probably nice on a Canyon. Good lad. Yeah. The Ridley Noah Fast, I think, is the fastest bike you can get. You have to be level 9 though, and you have to have enough drop points. Otherwise, everyone knows the Canyon Aeroid is the fastest bike in game. Not true, but it's up there. The Ultimate is one of the best climbing bikes, but this is a very flat course. You want as aero a bike as possible. Same with the wheels. So there's a lot of people who've gone for the Tron bike. A few guys who have gone for the disc wheels. A lot of deep section wheels here, and yeah. Everyone's doing pretty well. It's a bit strung out here. These guys have got to be suffering. You have to watch out. If you go past some of those riders, you get caught out by their sticky draft, sorry. And you can find that you end up being stuck right behind them. They slow you down. It really sucks when that happens. So yeah, I think everybody knows here that they can just get away with... They don't have to do any moves. If they just stick with this group, then they're going to qualify through to the semi-finals. For these guys, their semi-final is going to be on Friday. For everyone who qualified in the APAC time, theirs will be on Thursday. I'll be racing on Thursday, so will Lionel, so won't be any live stream of the APAC race. Possibly I'll do another live stream of the EMEA race because I won't be in it. So they're going up this climb, see if anybody else falls off the back. Again, everyone should have an idea, but the heart rates are really high. Bernardino here is 184. He's got to be suffering. He looks like he's slipping back a little bit. I'll give him a ride on to tell him he's doing well. Paul here. The guys who got drops? It looked like they might have made it back on, but they're going to really suffer on this section again. The power is going to be, and the speed is going to be going up over this section. This is a chance to kind of drop people off. If you want to win this, which many of the people at the front will want to do, you still want to put the hurt in. It's not just about qualifying, it's also about winning. So, yeah, these guys are going to be struggling a little bit, stuck in no man's land. It's going to be tough to get back on. So it's getting strung out. Here's a ride on. And hopefully it's going to calm down a bit. But again, it's super strung out here. Yeah, we might be seeing a few more guys going off the back. I guess there's going to be more attrition as the ride and the race goes on. And yeah, they're going to have to work really hard now to close this gap. Again, Isles' heart rate is 154. I'm not sure that is going to be correct, given how hard he's going. Beerworth as well. So the best bet for them now is to probably just sit up a little bit, wait for the guys behind them, and work together to keep the speed up. That gap's not coming back, I don't think. So we're down now to about 31 riders in this main group. So again, everybody here is probably going to be fairly cagey. They're going to be keeping it quite calm. For those that feel like they can be calm, I'm sure most people here, their legs are absolutely screaming, waiting for a bit of respite. This is a slightly flat section. This is probably where you're going to get your respite, to be honest. It's not going to feel like it, but yeah, it is. Oh, I'm not actually sure if I can get Zwift Zwift Power to work because it's a private race. So, oh no, it is here. Right, cool. Let me check this. Good to see Stefan Weigold is still in there representing Rapha Berlin. I saw another guy, another Stefan. He was in this group early on from Berlin, but he got dropped off earlier. Hopefully he can still stay in and qualify. Let's go to the live view on Zwift Power. So hopefully, normally I would do this on the computer and I'd have another monitor, but I've lent one of them out. So no, so there looks like there is no Zwift Power Live for this. Let's see if it updates in 10 seconds. But I keep saying I imagine all of these guys are going to stay in there. It's not going to be a problem for them. But again, it's getting really strung out. So maybe we will see another split. It looks like it's going to happen. Losing some wheels back there. Come on, guys. Got to close that gap. Otherwise, not going to say it's a race over, but you've got to make that extra effort to close that gap. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself in a bit of trouble. The gap's gone out to, it's only a second, but I think if they don't power up enough over this lip, they're going to have to really get out of their saddles and sprint over it. It's only 1 second. You can close that, but you've got to close it now, because otherwise that group is going to go down that descent quicker than these 4 riders will. None of them look like they're going to be able to bridge it. So, unlucky guys. Whoop. It looks like you are going to be the ones. You're going to have to work together again. Maybe there's some riders behind. There's a group of riders, 19 seconds behind. Wait up for them. And if you work together, you'll be able to hold off the marauding group behind them. So again, we're down to 26 riders now. Might even be 25, depends how much the pace picks up here. Really interesting. Oh, good to see Gadgeta's in there. Lionel and myself were talking about him, saying he's probably one of the more experienced Zwift racers. He's done a lot of Zwift races, rides for the team Draft, and yeah, he'll have that experience. He'll know what to do in this scenario, and he'll know that he's qualified. He knows that he doesn't have to put a huge effort in. He doesn't have to force it. He can just sit in, and he'll qualify without killing himself. So again, yeah, some guys at the back who are struggling. Those two riders they've been lapped, so don't worry about them. We can check in a second. We'll just see how Reese Howells is going to do, how he's doing, what his heart rate looks like. Oh, who is that? That was somebody just off the back. Short. He is just coming up short on that one. So he's been lapped. Looks like a couple of lap riders managed to get a bit of a draft in there. Fair play to them. If you do get lapped, you can try and hang with this group that's lapped you and pick up a bit of speed. Sometimes you can hang with the group for a little bit on the back. Not always that easy. Sometimes it's always worth trying. And it is getting strung out. It's really surprising. But I guess, again, you know, I think a lot of races that you see on Zwift, they do happen. They do happen on slightly shorter courses, and the pace is pretty high. You know, they're doing 46k per hour here, and yeah, so they're going to head towards this the next mini climb into the volcano. Could see a few more guys going off the back then, because it looks like they are struggling a bit. The pace has been really high. It's been really high in these groups. You've got riders here who are A plus racers in the normal Zwift racing. They'll be the ones driving it. They'll be the ones who will be relatively comfortable. There's probably a few guys in here who aren't used to that kind of race, but still doing really, really well. Tecklenburg here from Amsterdam, he's done really well. There's been a few points where he's just been off the back. Looks like he's going to be dropped, and he's managed to get back on 2 or 3 times now, I think. So well done to you. You're doing a great job. Hopefully you can stay in this group to the end. Let's just have a look now at Reese Howells, if I can see him. It's obviously weird. Feels like I'm talking about myself, but I am not. Here's Stefan. Stefan is at 186 BPM and a very low cadence. He's at 81. He's probably mashing the pedals. But as I say, Stefan was a former pro. If you've ever seen him on a cyclocross bike, the man is a machine. I think he was twice junior cyclocross German national champion, so he's not messing around. And he's a great advocate just for cycling in general, so we're very lucky to have him with us in Berlin, especially in the winter months. I think he introduced a lot more RCC members here to cyclocross / gravel riding this year. There was an amazing amount of people doing these kind of cross rides this year, so that was pretty cool. He's doing pretty well. Again here, doesn't need to be on the front. Stefan, come on, pull it back a bit. You can suck wheels. There's no shame. There's no shame in it. But he did actually got that section going up to the arch pretty well, right at the front, and then had a little chance to recover. He's really well positioned here, just in 6th place. Again, I think if you're new to Zwift as well, it feels unnatural to start soft pedaling a little bit. It feels like if you do that, you're going to go out the back, but you can do it as long as you're watching your position. You can do that, and it will allow you to get a little bit of recovery riding in the wheels. So there you go. Steven he's at the back. I think he just dropped his drafting power up. So his watt per kilos is still really high. So here you're dropping your drafting power up. Don't keep putting out the same power. You can really drop the amount of power that you're putting out and keep up to speed with the group. So a little bit of a tip there for if you get that drafting power up again. So Gajda's up there. Reese Howells is in there. He did a spot with the Wiggins Continental team. He's also a Rapha employee. So he is representing Rapha. I mean, everybody is, but he is really representing Rapha. I'm not sure where Simon Mottram is. I'm sure he's doing amazing well. Maybe he's at the back of this group and I've just missed him. Fair play to Simon for jumping in and racing with everybody else. Super cool to see that. Yeah, pretty cool. So once the race is over, we will be jumping back so that I can catch some of the other people who are riding. So don't worry about it just being this group. I will try and catch everyone. So let's just check. Just going to check. So, I mean, they are 33 kilometers into this race right now. And just need to check on... Okay, so just wanted to check the distance. So 40.7. Because Zwift Power is not updating with live information, I guess because it's a secret event. It's not secret, sorry, but you know, it's a private event. I can't see precisely where they are. So the laps are 6 kilometers. This is probably the last lap then. So it looks like this is where they're going to catch a group who's off the back. Again, you know, I was talking about getting that the sticky watts. It's not sticky watts. That's cheating. If you get a sticky draft, when you go through a slower group, it can be that you get caught out. They can slow you down. So you have to be really attentive to that and really put the power down. So it looks like a few riders are getting caught out a little bit by that. But they're smart. Some of them are dropping the aeros power, dropping the drafting power, very sensible. That is a chance to come back into the group and make sure you don't get dropped here. But again, super strung out. Some of those riders could be from that group which we passed through, and they're trying to cling on. Some people could have got caught out. Ugh. When you talk so much, you get a very dry mouth, and it's very easy to say weird things. Just mispronounce everything. Right, so just going to check back into my dashboard. So Big Tom Drum says, how do I see how a specific rider is doing, please? So the way that I'm doing it is that you jump into a race or a ride, you're on Zwift, and then how I would do it, I use the companion app. So you have to have Zwift open. You can do this right now. You can do exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to be in the race. For me, I did it because it meant I could easily record it from the beginning. But turn on Zwift, start a ride. Obviously, you don't have to connect your trainer or anything. And then what you can do is you can go on the companion app and you can press the button, go onto someone's profile, and then you press the button. Ah, thanks. My Swanya has passed me some water. Amazing stuff. Thank you, Rosie. You can press fan view on the companion app, and that will switch your Zwift view to the rider view, and then you can jump into this race, and then you can click through and see how everybody is doing. So Steven there, I think he had a little bit of a dropout there. I saw his watts dropped to 0. I think he had a little bit of a dropout earlier, which he nearly got thrown out the back of the group. So hopefully no more dropouts for Stefan. Simon Mottram is at 28.5k, 184th position. That's nice of him to be going easy on everybody here. Fair play. Didn't want to embarrass this front group. If I get a chance after these guys across the line, I will jump back and hopefully we can catch Simon and see where he's at. Let's see, is there anybody who has come off of this group? You guys, Cook, was he actually in this group though? Hard to say. I'm not going to look because they're going to come round this corner here and back up to this climb. So it gets a bit more difficult when you start coming across these riders who are being lapped. It's much harder when there's a group. So no feather ups being dropped here. So there's one there. Either people. So normally, if you've got an aero power up, you want to hold on to it. People will know that they're going to get another feather power up. They're going to get another power up when they go under the arch just here. This is going to be the last chance to get a aero power up, the helmet. I believe when I raced this yesterday, I got the aero power up maybe 2 laps before. I just held on to it because it's so valuable when it comes to that final sprint. So some people might already have an aero power up and they'll just be holding on to it. Some people will be dropping power ups and praying that they get another one under here. So we'll see. Nobody is massively pushing on, but still Stefan here, 186 beats per minute. He's a cyclocross rider, so he is used to that horrible feeling of your heart pounding in your chest. If you've ever done a cyclocross race, you will know it is horrible. It's a horrible sensation. You're at max heart rate pretty much the whole time. Just going to try and move my lighting so that I can try and reduce the shadow behind me. Oh, there you go. That's better. Why didn't I do it before? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it was there was still some daylight. Let's try and just reduce the brightness a little bit. All right, that'll do. Okay, so this is the group now. So your winner is going to come from this group. It'll be interesting to see who is your money on. Leave a message in the Twitch stream. I do have, actually, if you have messaged me on another platform, then sorry, I have missed it. And one of the things I forgot to do was to log into my Restream chat. So I cannot see your messages. I can only see the messages on Twitch. Okay, so Replica Diver says Stefan for the win. Could be. Is it? I mean, many of these riders I do not know. So, I'm going to say it could be between Reese Howells, Stefan. Stefan's got the power. I know he's got the sprint power. Gajda, again, he's been very coy. He hasn't been doing a lot of work on the front. So, oops, let's just check on him to see where his heart rate's at. Is anybody going to go early though? That's going to be the interesting thing. Oh, let's try and grab Gajda. Oh, look, see, this is the fun and games when you're trying to do one of these streams and you're trying to catch a rider. Here we go. Gajda, he's at 148 beats PM. Possibly an issue with his heart rate monitor as well. Unless he has a very low heart rate. I don't know. It's possible. If you've seen Lionel Sanders' heart rate is ridiculously low. So Reese Howells hanging at the back. I think he probably knows what he's doing. Hasn't done a ton of Zwift races, but he's done a lot of real world races. So we're going to keep an eye on these guys, and we're going to try and stay at the front to see who wins the sprint. I'm not going to know 100% who's got it. The final results will be on zwiftpower.com. I do not have additional camera angles for you for when we do cross that line, so I'm just going to try and jump riders, and we'll try and see who it is. Stefan already in the orange numbers. Again, you've got these riders here, these slower riders here. You can potentially use them to your advantage. You can power past them and try and slow down the guys behind you. It does sometimes work if people aren't prepared, if they're not waiting for it. So again, the orange numbers now, we can see Holcroft Jones is moving up, the Welshman. Reese Howells, he's right at the front here. Damn it, I got... There you go, I'm fucking messing this up. There are a lot of guys dropping their air power-ups too early. Right, here we go. Hebsgaard here is in first place. Third place. Reese Howells here. Let's try and see. They're going to get these other riders here. Oh, but it's going to be Route Ambassador. Reese Howells here. Second place. Looks like Our Lord in third place. Good job there. Our Lord. Getting the sprint jersey there. Right, let's hop back. No, we don't want to see people who are running. Get out. No. Oh, okay, let's see if we can find anybody else who is in this race. We might struggle. No, I think that's going to be it because we're on a different route now. What I can do... How is my chat covering the screen? Oh, what? Sorry. It's on a different screen. Oh! I get it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, stupid thing. Wait a minute. The chat shouldn't be there. Oh, good shout. I should have seen that. Thanks a lot. Okay, well, I'm going to jump into... I'm going to do, like someone was asking me, let's find Simon Mottram. And we're going to jump back and we'll just see where he is. So, bear with me. So again, trying to broadcast these races is not the easiest thing in the world, especially when you are bootlegging it. Like I am. So let's jump back, see how Simon is getting on. Well, we can just see Sina here from Rapha Berlin. So she's 7th in the women's race. She is... Oh, I see Katie Kookaburra is also in the... She's in the main group in front. Shout out to Regina racing for RCC Berlin. Good job. Here I see Annaline from Amsterdam, but I believe she lives in London. Could be wrong. She's in a... oh, this is the front group. So she is the, I believe, the Dutch Zwift national champion. So you would expect her to be up here in this race. She is with Katie Kookaburra coming out of Manchester. Wait a minute, is that right? Could be wrong. Good to see her up in at the front of this race. Marit from Rapha, she is also here. What position is Marit? It looks like she might be going through to some finals. Also from the Netherlands. And a slightly bigger group here. And this is going to be interesting racing from this group. So this group looks like it's going to come down to a bunch sprint. Because they're going to be fighting it out for those places, but they're going to have to work a little bit harder to try and close this gap up to Regina and the other rider, Reed. Give her a bit of kudos there to carry on. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do. We'll try and jump back to the women's race. Let's just have a look and see where the captain, Simon Mottram, is. And just got to find him on my friends list. Not that Simon follows me, but I do follow Simon. So also Zwift, if you are listening, which you're not, please, the friends list, please just put it in alphabetical order. Please, dear God. It is ridiculous to try and scroll through a load of names that are completely listed at random. Just alphabetical would be really, really nice. Right, let's switch to Simon. Here's Simon. He's in 183rd place. It's not going to be enough to qualify. Hasn't got a heart rate on, so I think it's going to be awkward. It's going to be an awkward conversation when it comes down to having to disqualify the boss. But I'm sure Martha will handle it with aplomb. But it's great to see Simon riding here. Hopefully this will also allow me to jump ahead a little bit and just see some of the other RCC riders who might be in other groups. Yeah, here we go. See if we can find... Oh, here's a Berlin. Another Berlin rider. We've lost him. Yeah. Verducci. That is a ride on from me. Let's jump ahead. Another pack here. Sorry I didn't catch the top 50. It would have been nice to have been able to jump back, but yeah, do not have the tools to allow me to do that in any degree of sophistication. Here you go, we can watch this group. They'll be coming up to the line. Here we can catch Stefan. He's well placed here. Aero power, you want to drop it just on this corner. Who's going to drop one? Have they got one? This is the sprint now. Max power, max power, max power. All the way, all the way, all the way. Seeing some orange numbers. Good to see people who've got some power still at this point in the race. Gonna go over the line. And we're going to try and jump back so that we can see some more of the riders here. A couple more German riders here. Hamston, BMC. Taking it in easy. Might have been their first race. Fair play. Thanks for joining. Really cool to see. Here is another group coming in. That's the thing. Even if you are you're not going to qualify, you got dropped, you formed your own group, still super fun to try and go for the sprint, to beat the guys that you're with. It's always worth doing. Just to give you a bit of kudos, just get the last little bit of power out of the legs. And why not? So they're going to head down, getting down into the descent. And again, if you've got an aero power, dropped it too soon. No. Should have been. You want to drop it right on that corner, to make sure that it lasts for the whole way to the sprint. Right. Let's see. Have these boys got some orange numbers? This is the sprint to the line. Lanch from Berlin. Go on, son. Go on. Go on. Go on. Up, 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 up. Nicely done. Heiko and fellow Berliner. He's up to 5 watts per kilogram here. Must have been a tough race. Nicely done. That's it. last bit over the line. Good job. There's a few more guys at the back. Now let's try and see. Here's Simon. Now, is Simon going to win the bunch sprint? That's what I want to know. We're going to watch, and we're going to find out. Has Simon Mottram got a deadly sprint that nobody saw coming? This is the moment of truth. I've never seen him unleash a sprint, but it doesn't mean he hasn't got one. He might be keeping it in his jersey pocket for a special occasion. He might have just been sandbagging the whole time. But we're going to find out right now. Right, he's got to keep your position here, Simon. That's it. Yep, good work. Putting in a bit of power just to stay near the front of this group. He's got a few more little lumps to get over here. He's doing well. It's good positioning. Simon is no slouch when it comes to Zwifting. I know he's very passionate about riding outdoors. But I think from just looking, he's level 20, I think, on Zwift. So, you know, he's up there. He'll be a higher ranking on Zwift than a lot of the guys here. So I expect to see fireworks from Simon here. Right, this is the section, right? So here it's all about positioning. You want to be nearer the front of this group. Keep the power up over this lip. And keep driving all the way down. The race is nearly over. So this is where you've got to put in a lot more power than you normally would otherwise. He's up to 4.8 watts per kilogram. He doesn't need to do any more than the guys at the front of this group. You've got to keep the power up. Don't rest here. Don't rest here. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. No, Simon, not 2 watts per kilogram. Come on. Keep on driving because it's going to get strung out now because now you're into this drafting section. This is where you've got to really start turning the screws. I can't see if he's got an aero power up. Is he going to drop the deadly sprint, which we've not all been predicting, but I've been predicting? Now's the time to shine. Okay, he's just going to roll in here. Some of the guys did sprint. Fair play to them. Why not? Pick up a few more places. So Simon's going to cross the line in 185th place. But it's not all about being at the front. It is also... Oh, I just missed the women's race. Bosna then won it then. I saw she got the sprint. I didn't realise it was quite so close then. I thought I was going to have a chance to drop back. So Annaline looked like she won the women's race there. And we'll just drop back to see if we can get to Zina again, just to see her ride in. So still in that group. So Katie Kookaburra, she looks like she was dropped from that group. I couldn't see if she was actually with that front group. She looked like she was when I looked earlier. See Ariane here, she is in 21st, also from Rapha Berlin. I think she's 1 lap behind here, so let's jump back. We're going to see Vujasin, excuse my French pronunciation. Looks like she is going to roll in 5th place. Katie is going to be in 6th, and then it's going to be between Zina and Reed here, battling out for 7th place. Is he going to come down to a sprint? we're soon going to see. Maybe Cena's going to try and lose Reed here. Again, your position's pretty much secured, so you don't necessarily have to do all the pulling on the front. You can you could always just sit in the wheels. See Marit here. Oh, Marit would be in heaven knowing that I'm commentating on her racing. Good group there. Right, we're going to jump back. We're going to see these girls crossing the line. See if they actually go for the sprint. They both know that they've qualified, so they don't have to sprint. But here they're going to have the desire to just go for it anyway, just for that, just for pride. We'll see. This will be the last group, and then yeah, I'll watch them come over the line and then bring it to a close, and possibly then I will be back next week on Friday to cover the semi-finals. The semi-finals are going to be happening on Crit City, so I think downtown Dolphin. 12 laps. If you haven't ridden it, it is flat and fast. There's a little mini leg snapper halfway round, which you just have to power up. Yeah, it's a really super fast course. I raced it earlier in the new Zwift Boost event, beta race, which was with mixed results. But it was good to just get the feeling of that course in my legs again ahead of the semi-finals. For me, I'm racing on Thursday. So, guys, if you have qualified, find a race which is on that course, and just get a feeling for it. It's very, very fast. Very fast indeed, and so you have to get used to it. They're playing cat and mouse here. They're really, Cena's having none of it. She's pumping out the orange numbers there. She's up to 8 watts per kilogram. Got her drafting power up. Massive cadence here. She's up to 120 RPM cadence. Huge numbers. She's got a 3-second gap here. Reed now chasing back on. She's doing 4 watts per kilogram. Still 3 seconds. Is it enough? Messina's up to 5.7 watts per kilogram. I think she wanted it, didn't she? Still got that 3-second gap now. Looks like she's going to come over the line. Well done, 7th place. And good work, Reed, also coming across the line there. So thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. For those of you that have commented, I'm really sorry if I missed any of your comments on any of the platforms other than Twitch. Stupidly, I forgot to load up my Restream chat, which you might have seen covering the screen, because normally it would go behind me over there where the sprint banner is, so that when I'm riding I can actually read it. But I forgot to do it, and then that pulls in all of the comments from all of the platforms. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all of your comments. Thanks Replica Diver for joining me on Twitch. Oh, it's Chris. Why didn't you jolly well say so? I thought you were racing. What are you doing commenting on Twitch? I thought you were in there. I was looking out for your name. Right, well actually I can quickly just go to Zwift Power now, if you want. I'm just going to jump into Zwift Power and let's just see if I can get up the results. So bear with me 1 second. Live. I might switch and I will host Nathan's channel on my channel. So if you're not sure where to go, don't worry. You can just watch it here. Lionel is racing in that. A lot of the biggest racers in Zwift racing will be racing in that race. So if you've got a bit of appetite for Zwift racing, you can watch the rest of that on my channel straight after this one. And I'm just going to get up the results now for you, if you don't mind, as they like to say on the Koa leak, which I'm a big fan of. The only thing is I'm slightly sad that I'm going to have to race the RCC race instead of the Koa race this week. That has been my staple race in the week. Right, let's just try and get up the... This is going to be a little bit tricky, so bear with me. Right. Just going to hop out of Zwift. I've never tried to do this on the fly, so this might go disastrously. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can go to let's jump on a display capture. Whatever. Okay. Ooh, that's freaky, isn't it? Number one. So hopefully you can see this now in the stream. These are the results for the race. So Nikolaj Hebsgaard won the race there, averaging 4.7 watts per kilogram. So actually it looks like, I can't remember what it was in the race yesterday, but that looks like it was a little bit lower. Reese Howell's there. Good on you, boy. He got silver. Rodri Lord, coming out of Cardiff. A lot of Welshmen there. Good to see. Yeah, let's just see where Stefan Weigel, he finished up in 16th place. He's qualified. Congrats, Stefan. Awesome to see. Let's jump down, see if there's anybody else who we recognise. Where was Gadja? He ended up in 15th. Definitely enough to qualify. Nicely done. Stefan Bierwerf from Germany. Patrick Bulk, also from Germany there. No, it can't be. Did Danny Barnes from Rapha actually qualify? If Danny, if you qualified, I'm very proud of you. I'm gonna have to drop him a message. Did not expect that from Danny. Nicely played. Let's see how many races has Danny done on Zwift. Is that his first race? We'll soon see. That's his first race on Zwift. Unbelievable. He's averaged 4 watts per kilogram. Damn, son. All right. Danny Barnes. Danny Barnes. He just got in there. Well done. All right, Danny. I'll see you in the semis. No, I won't actually, because we're in different time zones. Sorry, right. Let's just check out the women. It's not fully updated here by the looks of it. Let's say Annaline, she did win it. We did just catch her coming over the line. So it's Terry Freminier from the... She's Belgian, but she is on an Australian team. Cassie Smith in 3rd and Usulia in 4th. So it hasn't fully updated yet to catch all of the women there. So, all right, that's all of the results thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to end this stream now. It was awesome to have you with me, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And stay on this channel if you want to watch some more racing. I'm going to be hosting Nathan's Zwift Community Live channel. So this stream will end, but if you stay on the channel very quickly, I'll have his stream up on here, so you can stay here and watch, or you can head over to Zwift Community Live, watch the 3-hour spring-loaded race, some of the best races in the world racing on that. If you did qualify, then I will see some of you racing on Thursday. I might cover the race on Friday evening, and then there will be the final as well. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the unofficial race coverage from me, Reese Howell, coming at you from the Canyon ZCC HQ in Berlin. Thanks a lot, guys.